Hello everybody, it's Christina and welcome back to my library. Today I am going to be talking about book series that I never finished and that I would really like to finish at some point. So these are all book series that I'd like to give another try to. I either stopped reading them because there was a book in the series that I didn't really love, or I just kind of forgot about the series, but I'd really like to give these all another shot for various different reasons. And I noticed that sometimes I just need to look at books with a fresh pair of eyes. I remember the very first time I read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. I think I DNF'd it, but then I read it again like a year later. I don't know what happened, but I absolutely loved it. So I don't know, sometimes I'm just not in the right mood or the right mindset to read a certain book or a book series, and that's why I end up dropping it. So these series that I am mentioning today are all series that I tried at one point or another, but for whatever reason, never continued them. So I want to give all of these another shot at some point. So let's get started on the books that I would like to give another shot to. First off is the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee, and I really wanted to like this one more than I did. I think the reason I didn't enjoy Jade City as much as I had hoped I would is that it's more of an urban, like low fantasy setting. The magic is not really at the forefront, it's kind of in the background. And for me, fantasy, I really like the high fantasy, epic fantasy stuff. So this was a little bit different for me. I think I should have learned a little bit more about this series before I went into it because I wasn't really expecting it to be what it was. You're following a crime family in a fantasy setting, basically. And it's really something that has the potential to be a very good series for me. And I know so many people love it, but the first time I read it, I didn't love it. And I really feel like maybe I need to give this one another chance because I did try to read it in the middle of a reading slump, so that could have had a factor too. But also, I think going into it, I was expecting something else, and I didn't get what I was expecting, and that was the other problem. So I definitely want to give this one another shot now that I know a little bit more about it and like the setting and the characters. I do think this one has the potential to be a really good series for me, but I have to give it another shot, and I have to be in the mood to read this type of book. So once I'm in that mood, I'm going to give it a shot again and see if I like it. If I don't like it again, then I think at that point I'll be done with it. But I just feel like this one, I need to give this one another try. Next up is actually a really big upset for me because I love everything else by this author. And I even liked the first book in this series, but I hated the second book. And I haven't read the third one because of that. And it's very upsetting for me, like I said, because this author is fantastic. She's written a lot of my favorite books, and that is Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Okay, let me just preface this by saying I really liked A Darker Shade of Magic. This book here, really liked it. I thought it was very well done. The concept was amazing. The characters were great. However, then I read A Gathering of Shadows. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't like that one at all. The main characters, all of them, I don't know what it was. I just felt like they changed a little too much from book 1 to book 2, and it kind of, like, one of the main characters became very whiny. And this is supposed to be an adult series, not a young adult series, and it just felt like the main character was acting more like a whiny teenager than the adult he was supposed to be. And it was a little bit jarring for me because the first book, he wasn't written like that. I'm talking about Kel, by the way. He wasn't written like that in the first book. And then in the second book, he was. And I couldn't really figure out why it was like that. So I think this one it just was jarring for me to have to go from like the way they were written in the first book to the way they were written in the second book. I hear the third book is a lot better, so I really do want to give this series another shot because, like I said, it's V.E. Schwab, and she has written some of my all-time favorite books. But, I don't know, A Gathering of Shadows just really didn't do it for me last time I read this. But again, I was also kind of in the middle of a reading slump at the time. Maybe this is another one that I have to really be in the mood for. But I really do want to give it another shot because 1, it's V.E. Schwab, and 2, I've heard so many good things about A Darker Shade of Magic that I just feel like maybe I didn't give it a fair shot last time. So that is why this one is going to be in the retry pile. as well. Next up is the Rising Saga. And again, this is another one that I feel like I should have liked because it's one of those like dystopian sci-fi murder games kind of a book. This one I actually was going to reread when I was in my big Squid Game kick, but then I just kind of ran out of time and I forgot about it. I had read Red Rising, I want to say 2 years ago, and I didn't like it. I found it very boring. I didn't really like the characters, but again, I was in the middle of a reading slump, and I think that that really affected my thoughts going into it, because I really do think that this series has the potential to be a favorite of mine. I just think I was in the wrong mindset to read it the first time, and I would really like to give it another shot because I've heard so many people tell me that this series is amazing. So yeah, that series is another one I'm going to retry, and that one I ended up stopping it at Red Rising. I didn't go further than that, but again, I really think it deserves another shot from me because I have heard really good things. The next series is a series that I stopped reading not because I didn't like the first book. I just kind of forgot about it. I was actually listening to this one as an audiobook when I was painting my bathroom, and it just kind of helped me get things like done, and I was able to get in a zone for painting, and it was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars, but then I forgot about it. And that series is The Gentleman Bastard, and the first book is The Lies of Locke Lamora. I really liked The Lies of Locke Lamora. I thought it was very good. It was a good fantasy novel. It was a good heist novel. And those are some of my favorite fantasy subgenres. So the fact that I kind of forgot about this series is a shame because, again, I really thought that The Lies of Locke Lamora was very good. I just kind of forgot about it. I ended up getting busy with other books and enjoying other books and just forgetting, and I would really like to give this one another shot. I'm probably going to reread The Lies of Locke Lamora. Even though I know I liked it, I'm going to reread it because I don't remember all of the story, and I would like to go back and just kind of get my head back into the game for it so that when I do read the next book in the series, I don't go, oh, I don't remember anything. How can I read this now? So we're going to do that at some point and give that one another shot for sure. The next series is The Witcher, and it's kind of the same thing with The Gentleman Bastard. I started it. I read the first 2 or 3 books in the series. Liked them. I thought that they were very good, but then I just forgot about them. And this one is another one that's a big shame for me because I really liked the Witcher video games. I played through those. Really liked the story of them, but then I started the books and I never finished them, and I would really like to go back and read the books so that I can maybe replay the games to see where all of the backstory from the books are, because you do see some Easter eggs from the books in the games. You see some characters from the books in the games, and it would be really nice to like have a really good idea of who everybody is while playing the game. So that's why I really want to give this one another shot as well. Next up is, again, another book series that I started and just didn't finish for whatever reason. This one, though, the reason was I was in college and I was busy and I just never got around to finishing it. And again, I liked it. I just never finished it. And that is His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I read the first one back in college, and I think it was around the time the movie came out. And I think that's why I read it at the time. I really liked it and I thought it was great. And then I got busy with exams and studying and all sorts of the other things that you have to do when you're in college. And again, just kind of forgot about it. This is a middle grade novel that is well loved by a lot of people. And I really do think I would like to finish it because it is one that I would like to have said that I've read. And I want to be able to experience what everybody else experienced with this series. So I'm going to be going back and reading this. This one feels like a good winter read, actually. So I'm probably going to try and accomplish this one sooner rather than later. I don't know when the rest of these books are going to be reread, but I do think that His Dark Materials are going to be on either my December or my January TBR for sure. And finally, the last one that I want to talk about, I believe is a duology. I could be wrong, and I will put something in the editing area here if I am wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's a duology, and that is Strange the Dreamer. This one I read as an audiobook a few years ago. I thought it was good. I really, really liked it. The writing style was beautiful. It was some of the most beautiful writing I had ever read or listened to. And I really think I'd like to read the second book. But again, it's not that I didn't like the book. I just forgot about it. I got busy with other stuff and just forgot. So I would really like to get back into it. This one I believe is YA, and I don't know that a lot of the books on this list are YA because again, I'm not a big YA reader, but the way that this book was written was just so gorgeous that I would really like to give this one another shot as well. And I think this time I'm going to actually reread the whole series as a physical book because as good as the audiobook was, I feel like this book is better enjoyed as like a physical book because then you can get to see all the beautiful prose and everything as you're reading it. So that one is one that I think I'm going to read physically. And I'm really excited because like I said, beautiful writing, beautiful setting, beautiful story. I just forgot about it and I really want to see what happens in the next book. So that wraps up all of the book series that I want to retry. Do you have any book series that you've dropped for whatever reason and you would like to give another shot to? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you want to give another shot to, another try at. And don't forget, you can follow me on social media. I have links for all of those down in the description box below. And I've also started a new series here on my channel called Booktuber Reacts, where I have been reacting to video game stories. And right now I am focused on Final Fantasy XIV because the story of that game is just so good. And yeah, if you're interested in watching it, you can go ahead and check that out. I will make sure to link it in the description and in the eye up above. And you can also become a channel member or a fan house sub, which are both optional monetary supports. I have links for those down below. And yeah, hopefully you all have a great day and I will see you next time. Bye.